spring, so I decided to make a video talking about what was my first Resident Evil game, or my favorite. So in this video, I will be talking about my first Resident Evil game and how I started playing it and why I enjoy the series till this day. I hope you guys really enjoy this video. Be sure to leave a like down in the comment section and let's get started. So it was a normal day. It was last year actually, and I was pretty bored and I didn't know what to do. So I checked the PS Now app and see what I could play. I saw Resident Evil 4 and I said I'm gonna decide to give it a try because it was pretty good. I heard a lot of good reviews from it. So I hopped on and see what all the hype was all about. And I had to say, I wasn't a really big fan just because of those controls. Like when I first played it, I was like, bro, how am I supposed to control this? I shoot with the the square button or the X button. I'm like, nah, bro, I don't know if I can do this, bro. It was really that. I really was like, no. How do people say this is good? But then that changed because I found out there was another setting. 2 weeks later, I said, oh, this is much better. The Type B controls. Still, the controls were still kind of clunky, but I got used to it during the playthrough, and I had to say, Resident Evil 4 is such a good game, and I'm gonna get to you on why I think it's a good game. So let's get right into this. During playing Resident Evil 4, I was really interested in the story. Now, the story was pretty simple. Basically, we're on a mission, and we're basically over here trying to save the president's daughter. The president's daughter is a little brat. I hate her, but she's okay. She's not really a big pain in the ass. Her ass keeps getting trapped though, so I can't even lie. But I had to say, the story was really great. I give it was a 6 out of 10 because it was just like a straightforward story. Honestly, it was just more about like the combat and surviving and shit. Which is basically, I don't really think Resident Evil. Well, yeah, Resident Evil can be story focused sometimes in some games, but 4, I would say it was more about like surviving action and shit. But still, Resident Evil 4 was my first game. It will always be a great game. And let's get to the other games now. Now, after playing Resident Evil 4, I didn't really feel like playing Resident Evil 5 because I was really taking a break. But then on September, I saw that Resident Evil 7 was free for PlayStation 4 till November 7th. So I decided to give Resident Evil 7 a try. And honestly, you guys can tell when I was streaming because I was streaming that game every day when Malachi was there. Because Malachi stopped over and visit, and we were chilling playing Final Fantasy and Resident Evil. And honestly, Resident Evil 7 was a okay, decent game. It scared the shit out of me and him, but it was still good. And Resident Evil 7 is honestly a good game, and I recommend you guys play it. And now let's talk about the other games. So the next game I played after Resident Evil 7 was Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 has to be one of another good game. It was a really good game. Honestly, it's not my favorite. Well, it was my favorite. It's one of my second favorites, but we're not going to talk about that to the next part. But Resident Evil 5 is one of my second favorite games from the Resident Evil series, just because the co-op. I really love the co-op in Resident Evil 5. Now, I know a lot of people didn't really enjoy it, but Resident Evil 5 really hits different when you play with friends. I was currently playing with my cousin, and we was playing the hell out of Resident Evil 5 during December. We was chilling, and it was a really good game. I recommend all you guys play Resident Evil 5. If you got a friend or a buddy that's online, or you have one sitting next to you and you got Resident Evil 5, tell them let's hop on and shoot some zombies, you feel me? Alright, let's get to Resident Evil 6. Well, let's talk about Resident Evil 6. So Resident Evil 6, I finished Resident Evil 5, and I said let's hop on and play some Resident Evil 6. Now I heard that it really wasn't the best Resident Evil game, and I now know why. Really, honestly, to me, it didn't really feel like a Resident Evil game, honestly. Like they say, it was literally more action-based. Literally, There was like, honestly, it was more action paced. You can actually like run and gun and shit. It didn't really feel like a Resident Evil game to me, honestly. And when I was currently playing with Malachi and yeah, basically just Malachi and my other friends, they basically said they didn't really like the game because the game was pretty boring. Now, if I'm being honest with you, Leon and Sherry's story are honestly my favorite ones, and some of them can agree. But the other ones we really didn't enjoy, honestly, because it was pretty boring and we honestly didn't really give a shit about those characters. Honestly, I didn't give a fuck about Ada, honestly. Honestly, all this clone bullshit. But I really liked Sherry and Leon's story. It was honestly my favorite. It was good to see Sherry back in Resident Evil. And yeah, honestly, Resident Evil 6 is not a terrible game. It's not a bad game. It's just they really shouldn't be adding a lot of stories and shit, honestly, because I really didn't give a fuck about Chris and Jake. So the next game I'm going to be talking about is Resident Evil Code Veronica X. I have to say, this has to be the first Resident Evil game where I played, where they had like all the cameras where it looks like a satellite and stuff. Like, you feel me? Like the camera angles and weird and shit. So basically, I got confused, but I really understand it because I remember playing Resident Evil 5 using R1 square because it actually felt good to play it. And basically, while I was playing Resident Evil Code Veronica, honestly, it wasn't really. It was really good. I'm not gonna lie, but sometimes the bosses were pretty hard as hell. I hated the fucking bosses in there, especially the final boss. I hated the final boss. Literally, it was hard to me. Usually, every final boss battle to me is pretty hard. Well, some of them. Some of them are easy as hell. But like, I really could not stand that final boss in Resident Evil Code Veronica. And I'd say another reason why I like Code Veronica is because of the music. Basically, in general, I really love Resident Evil's OST. And it really just gives me some time to chill, usually when I'm studying or doing work. And that's basically what I do. So guys, this will be the end of my video for part 1 of Let's Talk About Resident Evil. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate all you guys coming in here. And hopefully you guys will see another video hopefully next week or whenever the squad emails me the videos talking about what was their first or favorite Resident Evil game. So guys, be expecting a video next week, and next time I will talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye.